Welcome to the 10th lecture of Polymer Science and Technology. Today we will see the determination of molecular weight of the polymers. So the first technique for determination of the molecular weight, and especially if we talk about the number average molecular weight, so is the cryoscopy technique. And this technique is based on the fact that the freezing point of a solvent is lowered when a non-volatile solute is dissolved in it. This phenomena of depressing the freezing point of fluid by addition of solute is made use of in this technique known as cryoscopy. This technique of the freezing point depression depends on the number of solute molecule dissolved per unit volume of the solution, and this technique is independent of the size and the nature of the solute molecule. Therefore, if the depression of the freezing point is denoted by delta Tf, it is related to the number average molecular weight Mn bar and the concentration through the following equation. Here you can see on the left hand side there is a term delta Tf, which is the depression in the freezing point, over C. C is the concentration of the polymer solution, is equal to RTF square. R is the universal gas constant, Tf is the freezing point of the pure solvent, over rho. Rho is the density of the solvent, and delta HF is the heat of fusion of the solvent. Inside the bracket 1 over Mn bar, where Mn bar is the number average molecular weight, and Bc is the B is the second viral coefficient, and C is the concentration. Okay, so here we can see how we can determine the freezing point of pure solvent and freezing point of the solution. To determine the freezing point of the pure solvent, we will reduce the temperature of the pure solvent from the room temperature to a temperature below the freezing point of the solvent, and to avoid the formation of ice, we will continue the stirring. So here you can see the temperature of the pure solvent is falling with respect to time, and this dotted line is denoting the freezing point of the pure solvent. So when we'll reduce the temperature, or when we'll cool the solvent with the continuous stirring, it may go below the temperature, freezing point temperature of the pure solvent, and it may reach to the supercooled state. In supercooled state, the solvent is still a liquid, but the temperature is below the freezing point, and typically this temperature is 5 degrees centigrade below the freezing point. Then we will stop the cooling and we will allow the heating of the solvent. So the temperature of the solvent will increase and it will reach to the freezing point. The moment it will reach to the freezing point, then temperature will start falling again. So the maxima of this curve is denoted by delta Tf. So by this way we can estimate the freezing point of the pure solvent. Similarly, we will make the dilute solution of the polymer in the same solvent, and now this time again we will cool it down. It will go at least 5 degrees centigrade below the freezing point of this solution. Then it will again, temperature will start rising again, and it will obtain the maxima, and this maxima will denote the freezing point of the solution. So if we see the difference in the freezing point of the pure solvent and the freezing point of the solution, so we will find that the delta Tf is the amount of the temperature which is being depressed, or we can say that there is a delta Tf depression of the freezing point of the solution with respect to solvent. So once the freezing point of the solvent and solution of the different concentrations are known, delta TF can be calculated for all these concentration of the solution. Here we have to prepare the solution, polymer solution of different concentration. Let's say we can prepare the solution for 0.1%, 0.2%, 0.3%, 0.5%, like that. So we have to prepare the dilute solution of polymers in varying concentration. At least we have to take 4 or 5 different data points or different concentration solution, and we have to calculate the delta TF value for each of these solutions. Okay, then we can plot delta TF over C with respect to concentration. So on the y-axis we will plot the delta TF, which is the depression in the freezing point, over the concentration of the solution, and on the x-axis there is a concentration of the solution. So since we have made 4 or 5 different concentration solutions, so we'll obtain 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 data points, and we'll connect this data point with the help of a straight line. Then we will interpolate this straight line to find the intercept on the y-axis, and this intercept on the y-axis will represent the delta TF by C, where C is tending to 0, because at the y-axis the value of the concentration of the solution is 0. So therefore the intercept will be delta TF over C, where C is tending to 0. Okay. So our earlier equation where the term of BC was associated with the number average molecular weight will become 0. The term of BC will become 0 because we are considering this equation at concentration is equal to 0 or tending to 0. So the term of BC will be 0. So my final equation will be delta TF over C, where C is tending to 0, is equal to RTF square over rho delta HF multiplied by 1 over Mn bar. So if you look at this equation, the value of delta TF over C, C tending to 0, can be obtained directly from the graph. Here this intercept you can find the value of the left hand side, and in the right hand side the value of universal gas constant R, you know the value of the freezing point of the solvent TF, you know the density rho of the pure solvent, and you know the value of delta HF, which is the heat of fusion of the solvent. So this entire term you know. Only unknown is the Mn bar, number average molecular weight. So when all the terms are known, you can estimate for the number average molecular weight of the polymer. So by this technique we can estimate the number average molecular weight of the polymer. One of the serious drawback of this method is the error introduced in the measurement of the temperature. Many times the difference in the temperature between freezing point of the solvent and solution may be of the order of 0.001 degree centigrade, because since we are preparing very dilute solution of the polymer, so the depression in the freezing point will not be enough or sufficient. It will be very minute. There will be very minute difference in the freezing point of the pure solvent and the solution, and it will be of the order of 0.001 degree centigrade. Hence the need for high precision temperature sensors. So this method or the equipment based on this principle will require very precise temperature sensor. Also the molecular weight increases, the value of delta TF assume is smaller and smaller value, which become increasingly difficult to measure with accuracy. See, in this equation, if you see the value of delta TF is inversely proportional to Mn bar. So if the number average molecular weight of the polymer is high, then the value of delta TF will be smaller. So higher the molecular weight of the polymer, smaller will be the depression in the freezing point, since it will become difficult for the measurement, or it will be difficult to measure the difference in the freezing point of pure solvent and the solution. So this technique is difficult for the higher molecular weight polymer, and this technique is therefore limited only up to 30,000 molecular weight. Beyond 30,000 there may be some error introduced by this technique. The second method is ebullimetry, and this technique is based on the elevation in the boiling point by the addition of the solute or the polymer in the solution. As we have seen in the cryoscopy technique, when we add the polymer into the solvent, the freezing point goes down, and likewise by the addition of the polymer into the pure solvent, the boiling point also increases. So this technique, second technique, is based on the elevation in the boiling point, and this is the self-reading assignment for all of you. You can find the detail of the albumetry technique in the book of Polymer Science by V.R. Gowarikar, or Polymer Science and Technology by J.R. Fried, that I have already forwarded to you. Okay, this entire technique is very much similar to the cryoscopic technique. Only the difference is that instead of depression of freezing point, here elevation of the boiling point is considered, and number average molecular weight is related to the elevation in the boiling point in the same way as in case of cryoscopy. So this is the self-reading assignment for you. The next technique is membrane osmometry. It is a widely used method for determination of the number average molecular weight of the polymer, and it is based on the phenomena of osmosis. That is, if a pure solvent is separated from the solution by a semi-permeable membrane, due to the difference in the chemical potential between the solvent and the solution, the solvent molecule diffuse into solution side through the semi-permeable membrane till the solution is rendered infinitely dilute. Osmotic pressure of the solution can be defined as the pressure that must be applied to the solution side so as to totally prevent the flow of the solvent through the membrane. The osmotic pressure is represented by the pi of a pure polymer of a polymer solution, and is related with the number average molecular weight by the relation given below. Here it is pi over RTC, where R is the gas constant, T is the temperature, C is the concentration of the solution, is equal to 1 over Mn bar plus Pc, where B is the second Barrel coefficient and C is the concentration. So similarly, likewise we have done in case of cryoscopy, we will try to find out pi over RTC at C tending to 0. When we will put this condition C tending to 0, so this component BC will become 0 because C is 0. So this whole left hand side will become equal to reciprocal of 1 over Mn bar, reciprocal of Mn bar, or 1 over Mn bar, and we can plot pi over RTC versus C through therefore give a straight line, and it intercept the y-axis, which will give the value of 1 over mn bar. So you can see we can prepare the solution of different solvent. Here the polymer is nitrocellulose, and we are taking three different solvent: acetone, methanol and nitrobenzene, and we are also preparing the four different concentration of this solution, as I mentioned you: 0.1%, 0.2%, 0.3% and 0.4%. So for acetone, the above here, this is the line you can see. We can connect all these data point with the help of a straight line, and then interpolate it to the y-axis, where it will give the intercept. Similarly, we can make the dilute solution of nitrocellulose in methanol also, and we'll get four data points, and we'll interpolate this data point to the y-axis. It will get the y-axis at the same point where the interpolation of acetone is getting. And if we take the third solvent, nitrobenzene, and we'll find the same or common intercept, and this common intercept will represent 1 over mn bar value of the nitrocellulose polymer. So this way we can calculate the number average molecular weight using the osmotic pressure. The fourth technique for the determination of the molecular weight is the vapor phase osmometry, and this technique is based on the principle that at given temperature the vapor pressure of the solution is less than that of the pure solvent. So when the droplet of the solution and solvent are kept saturated with solvent vapor and the temperature falls, the condensation of solvent starts at the solution droplet, because the vapor pressure of the solution is less than of that pure solvent. Okay, so this solvent molecule will start condensing on the solution droplet. The solution droplet therefore start getting diluted, because it will absorb the solvent molecule, as well as heated up by the latent heat of the condensation of the solvent condensing on it. Due to the temperature rise and increased concentration of the solvent, the vapor pressure of solution droplet will start increasing slowly or steadily. The process of condensation and resultant temperature rise continue till the vapor pressure of the solution droplet at the new elevated temperature become equals to that of pure solvent at the original temperature. So when the vapor pressure of the both pure solvent and the solution droplet will become equal, then there will be no further condensation of solvent molecule onto the solution droplet. Okay, the total rise in the temperature delta T of the solution droplet will be proportional to the mole fraction of the solute, or the, you can say, the mole fraction of the polymer dissolved into the pure solvent, and it is represented with small n in the solution as per the following equation, where delta T is equal to RT square n over delta HV, where delta HV is the heat of vaporization of pure solvent. In an actual vapor phase osmometer, sometimes it is called VPO, the solution and the solvent droplets are placed directly onto thermistor arranged in a Wheatstone bridge circuitry in such a way that the temperature rise can be measured very accurately as a function of bridge imbalance output voltage, represented as delta V. So the factor delta V is related to the molecular weight. So here let me tell you that we are actually measuring the delta T, but converting it in terms of delta V, because uh, we have connected the temperature sensor or the thermistor to the Wheatstone bridge, and they will measure the resistance or the voltage with respect to the temperature of the thermistor. So if temperature is going to change, the resistance of the thermistor will change. So accordingly the voltage across the your resistance or thermistor will vary. So we will actually measure the delta V, but we will convert it in terms of T. So the okay, so this is the 11th lecture. So here is the end of 10th lecture, and we'll continue this topic in the 11th lecture. Okay, thank you very much.